I think you need a hug. Can I hug you? Said the little girl to the young homeless woman at the bus stop. It was a cold afternoon, the kind where the wind cuts through jackets and the sky feels heavy enough to fall. People hurried past, clutching their bags, staring at their phones, pretending not to see what made them uncomfortable. But the little girl saw. And the moment she stepped toward that woman, something quietly life-changing began. Before we get into the story, if you believe kindness still matters in this world, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps our channel Kindness World continue sharing stories that warm hearts, open eyes, and remind us who we can be for each other. The day started just like any other. The city was buzzing with the usual mix of chatter and rushing footsteps. Cars honked in the distance, and somewhere a street musician played a slow tune on his guitar. On the corner of the bus stop sat a young woman, no older than 25. Her clothes were worn, her hair tangled, and she hugged her knees tightly to her chest as though she was trying to hold herself together. She didn't look up when people approached. She didn't ask for anything. She simply existed there in the cold, invisible to everyone but a curious pair of small brown eyes watching from across the street. The little girl's name was Emma. She was only 7, with wide curiosity in her gaze and a heart tuned naturally toward kindness. She held her mother's hand as they waited for the walk signal to turn green. But her attention wasn't on the light. It was on the young woman at the bus stop who looked so terribly alone. "Mom," Emma whispered, tugging gently at her mother's sleeve. "Why is that lady sad?" Her mother glanced over, her expression tightening. She didn't want Emma to feel scared or confused. "Some people are going through hard times, honey," she said softly. "She might not have a home right now." Emma frowned. "But why is no one helping her?" Her mother didn't have an answer for that. Maybe she had once been like the others, someone who tried not to look, someone who told herself that she had her own problems to deal with. She squeezed Emma's hand more tightly, silently hoping the light would hurry up and change. But kindness doesn't wait for permission. When the light finally turned green, Emma didn't follow her mother across the street. Instead, she pulled her hand free and walked straight toward the young woman. Her mother gasped and rushed after her, but Emma was already standing in front of the woman, staring with a gentle kind of bravery only children seem to have. The young woman finally looked up, startled. Her eyes were tired and red, as if she had been crying for a long time. Emma tilted her head. "I think you need a hug," she said in the simplest, softest voice. "Can I hug you?" The woman blinked. Those 5 little words, so tender, so innocent, broke something open in her. Tears welled instantly in her eyes, spilling down her cheeks before she could even respond. She covered her mouth with her trembling hands, overwhelmed by the unexpected warmth from a child who owed her nothing. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "Yes. I would love a hug." Without hesitation, Emma wrapped her small arms around her, pressing her cheek gently against the woman's shoulder. The woman slowly lifted her hands and held Emma like she'd been holding her breath for years. Something shifted in that moment. The kind of shift that can't be seen but can be felt, deep and steady, like the first light after a storm. Emma's mother approached, breathless and worried at first, but then she saw it. The way the woman clung to her daughter like the hug was the first human warmth she'd felt in a very long time. The mother's eyes softened. Her heart did too. When Emma pulled back, she looked at the woman's tear-streaked face and smiled. "You look nicer when you smile," she said. "Are you hungry? My mom makes really good sandwiches." Her mother blinked, surprised, but she didn't argue. She knelt beside them. "Hi," she said gently. "We'd love to get you something warm to eat. What's your name?" The young woman wiped her tears. "Lena," she whispered. They took Lena to a small cafe nearby. The warmth of the place seemed to wrap around her as tightly as Emma's hug had. The smell of soup and fresh bread filled the air. People chatted in quiet tones at the tables, unaware of the tiny miracle unfolding next to them. As they ate, Lena shared pieces of her story. She had grown up in foster care, aged out at 18, and struggled ever since. She'd lost her job 2 months ago and had nowhere to go. Every day felt like a battle she was losing. Emma listened with wide eyes and a heart much older than her years. "I'm glad you're here with us," she said. "No one should be alone." Her mother glanced at Lena, then at her daughter, feeling something shift in her own chest. She realized how easy it is to walk past someone and forget they're human. How easy it is to assume their story isn't your responsibility. And how wrong that is. After finishing their meal, they helped Lena find a local shelter that had an open bed. They exchanged numbers, and Emma hugged Lena again before they parted. This time, Lena hugged her back without hesitation, like she had remembered how. Over the next months, they stayed in touch. Emma's family helped Lena get a new ID, apply for assistance, and eventually secure a part-time job at the very cafe where they had shared their first warm meal together. Lena worked hard. She saved. She started to rebuild. One afternoon, months later, Lena surprised Emma with a small gift, a handmade bracelet with tiny beads shaped like hearts. "I made it to thank you," Lena said. "Your kindness changed my life." Emma grinned. "You changed your life," she said proudly. "I just gave you a hug." The truth was simple and profound, that hug had been the beginning of everything. A moment of pure kindness that rippled outward, touching every part of Lena's life and reminding everyone who witnessed it what one small act can do. Kindness doesn't need money. It doesn't need perfect timing. It doesn't need grand gestures. It only needs a willing heart and a moment of courage. So as this story comes to an end, let it inspire a beginning in you. Look for the people others overlook. Offer warmth where there is cold. Be the hand someone can reach for, the gentle voice someone needs, or the unexpected hug that can remind a hurting soul that they still matter.